It's Jen Gleason Blue of The Resilient Body, and I want to talk a little bit about sleeping and perhaps some of that pain that you might be waking up to in your mid back or your low back. So in this world of sort of exploring more natural movement, one of the things that we tend to explore from a environmental perspective is the bed. And so like I'm here, I'm on my floor bed, so it's, you know, like it's very thin and it's low to the ground. And connected to that is often the exploration of a pillow, right? And transitioning out of a pillow. So so if you've been exploring these things, and maybe you're not even exploring these things, you're just waking up with this pain, then I want to play around with some things with you. So let me show you what happens when I lie down flat. So I'm just going to angle that down a bit for you. So here's me flat. And I will show you here. So like I'm lying here. If I were to sleep like this, I would definitely wake up with a certain amount of back pain. And it would go away, and I know I have the tools I need to make it go away, right? And even if I just use a pillow, even if I use a higher pillow and come up like that. So here's where the issue lies. It lies with my rib cage. So these are my ribs. They're because, and I'm just going to take that out because it's covering my ears. The ribs are sort of shearing up, you know, so the spine is shearing as the ribs come up toward the ceiling. And that's because I have, like most of us, excess curvature, hyperkyphosis of the thoracic spine and this forward head, like your classic computer posture, you know, texting, whatever. Like the way that I have moved my whole life has led me to have this excess curvature. And when I lie down, the excess curvature doesn't go away. It just shifts my spine, right? So here I am sleeping like this, and my spine is being sheared and it's uncomfortable and all the muscles get cranky, and so then I'm going to wake up with back pain, even with a pillow. So I'm going to show you what happens as I crunch up. So if I come up, and now my rib cage is in line with my pelvis, and the spine is in many ways in a much more neutral position, you can see the space. This is what I've got. And so what I have discovered is that if I'm going to sleep on my back, if I bolster myself up to meet this, then I will not have that sort of pain in my back. So this is one of those things where you get to play around with various pillows, blankets. Blankets are, for this in particular, because you want something soft, like, you know, if you're doing movement work, we often suggest, and I often suggest, bolstering the shoulders and the head so that your rib cage is in line with your pelvis when you're lying flat on your back. And you might do that with a foam dome or a yoga block or something like that under your head. And it's not going to feel very good to sleep on. So let's see. So if I put these two blankets and then my pillow, right, and then I come here, and this looks a lot more in line, yeah? So we can check my ribs. I mean, I can feel it, but we can just look. And you can see I still have a ways to go, mostly just under the head, that maybe I could scoot up a little. Yeah. And so how about a little something like that? Look, now my rib cage is in line with my pelvis. And if I were to sleep on my back for a long period of time, I would not have that discomfort that I would wake up with otherwise, due to that shearing of the spine and due to the compression of the muscles through the back. This will not feel good, yeah? So standing, we talk about dropping the ribs, and lying down, you can drop the ribs by bolstering up your head and your shoulders. What this does tell you, though, and what it tells me, is that it's imperative to work on opening up through the thoracic spine, that this tension that is creating a change in the shape of my body is going to be increasingly problematic. And so if I cannot lie flat, or if I cannot lie flat with just a little something under my head, then there's work to be done. So there's plenty of work to do, and we can explore that. But for now, in order to kind of deal with the shape that you are in as you are sleeping, consider bolstering up your shoulders and your head a little bit as you sleep. Now, what about you side sleepers? Because I'm a side sleeper too. I'm a slide sleeper. Something funny I just said there. So, there is this, and that's kind of creating all of its own weird stuff, and that might not bother you, and so that's cool. The big thing that I noticed to pay attention to is, are you bringing that rib cage forward as you're sleeping? And so sometimes that means just curving your upper body. So instead of sleeping straight, you come forward with your upper body and then pillow it however you want to, so that your ribs are a little bit more flush with where your pelvis is, and that spine's not doing that wonky thing. Sometimes, depending on the size of your hips and your shoulders and all of that and the exact position you get in, this dropping of the rib cage down can be uncomfortable, and so putting something small like this can help the ribs stay better aligned. And again, this has to do with these static positions that we're choosing. And one of the benefits of being on a harder, firmer surface is that the body might want to move a little bit more frequently, which might also help some of your discomfort. The softer you are, the kind of more rigid and locked in the body is likely to be, because it just kind of conforms to the space, and the space conforms to the body. And there's sort of like less movement in a way, even throughout the night. But it is no fun to wake up feeling uncomfortable in that way and then to have to work it out. So I find that there's sort of, it keeps me at a stable place in terms of my body work, that I don't have to undo all of that rib shear and all of that core discomfort that I mostly notice in the back if I bolster up while I sleep. And then I can work on the thoracic stuff during my waking hours, which will enable me to slowly lower and lower and lower down the extra cushioning that I need. All right, I hope that helps you. For those of you who are feeling that discomfort, let me know how you get on with it if you have questions. Bye.